Was it the Chad?
No! The Chad was great.
Chad was great.
Welcome to this week's episode of That Was Awkward. Guest star today, Mr. Chad Pape. What's going on, brother?
Wow, a lot.
All right. A lot. Well, first of all, before we get started, tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're at, what office you're at, how to contact you, and what areas you service.
I service all of California right now. I'm Orange County, LA counties. We have lots of listings in LA right now. We have a couple listings here in Laguna Niguel, Irvine. We're all over the place, but we're looking actually at 2023 as being one of the best years ever.
Nice. Social media of choice, where they can find you.
Facebook, Instagram.
Okay. All right.
We have actually.
Have you got a handle? That's what I'm getting to.
No, we don't have a handle on it.
No. Have you got a handle how they can find you?
Yes. No, it's Chad Pape on Facebook.
Gotcha. Okay. So, are you ready for the question?
What is the question?
The question is the most awkward, craziest moment in real estate that you've had in your career.
Wow. There's been several.
Okay.
Actually, but
you only get one.
One in particular.
Exactly.
There's one in particular that stands out. It's actually a daunting episode of real estate. Let's put it this way.
All right.
One of those episodes to where the seller was in desperate, dire need, and on this particular listing, they wanted to have a meeting. The buyer wanted to have a meeting with the seller and me. And so they were going over the, various things that happened throughout the transaction. And of course, everything was on the line at that point. So what I did was...
You were already in escrow?
In escrow.
Okay, gotcha.
In
you
escrow.
Represented the
Seller.
Okay.
And so what happened is that they all wanted to meet, so my seller just freaking out. It's like, I have to close this and blah, 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 blah. It gave me so much pressure, probably for 48 hours straight.
Okay.
It was very difficult. However, at the end, whenever everybody came to the table and so forth, and I did the opposite of what I normally would do.
Okay.
I didn't sell the house. All I did was I sold the area. And then, I sold the area, and I literally just walked out of the house and had everybody follow me and go, this is the park, this is this, that, and the other. Didn't even talk about the house at all.
Okay.
The seller was fuming at me for not selling. And I'm like going, I didn't say anything.
I can see that. Okay.
He was fuming. He was just like really just absurdly upset with me. And then I was like, oh, well, here's the listing down the street. Here's another listing. Oh my God, these are great houses, that, and the other.
Okay.
I did not sell the house whatsoever.
Did you forget who your fiduciary duty was to? And
well, here's the thing.
Here's
the thing. I went back, and but I had a plan.
Okay.
The plan was to show show what was out there.
Gotcha.
Which wasn't great. And then I came back and I sat down at the table, and I said, well, guess what? I'm going to ask you this right now. Here's a contingency release. I want you to release everything right now.
You said that to the buyer?
The buyer.
Which you did
and the buyer's agent.
Okay. I was about to say, which you did not represent, which that's important. Okay.
And I looked at everybody in the eye, and I said, look, you're lifting in contingencies right now.
Okay.
And they did, willfully.
All right.
And it was a gamble, because it was their life on the line.
Right.
The seller's life on the line. But I knew exactly what was going on. I knew exactly what to do at that point in time. And I normally wouldn't do that, but I saw what was sort of like going down.
All right. So you called them out is basically what you did. You saw an opportunity there and you called them out, which big gamble.
Extremely big gamble.
Because if it didn't work out, then you would have had a situation and explained to your seller of, hey, we're canceling escrow and sorry, our time frames and our deadlines and all your situation that you had on the line it's now a problem. Yeah,
but at that point in time, being in the business a long time, you kind of get a feel for where people are at, especially if they're buyers or if they're sellers. And the psychology of that is the fact that you gather little bits of truth from the buyer. Most of the time, you don't get that. But I have a situation where with every buyer and seller, I make sure I create that harmony between everybody. And at that point, it was my duty to listen as much as I can to what the buyer's agent was saying, what the, the buyer's agent was saying and what the buyer's saying in particular. So I took up little bits and pieces, and I really didn't think that they knew what was really around them.
Gotcha.
So I don't think they had that education piece, but since growing up here in Irvine, literally, I mean, I'm a native. I've lived here since '77. I mean, I'm probably the authority on it at that point in time because, in fact, I know everything within this small wall of Irvine.
So, and I really actually wanted, one of the key things that you said is that you were paying attention to what they were saying, and you had a sense of you felt like they were missing these things, and you picked up on that. And so often in this business, I see agents don't ask enough questions, don't get enough information, so that they're truly not able to service the person. So kudos to you, because it doesn't sound like it was, hearing the whole story, it honestly doesn't sound like it was that big of a gamble. You had enough information to make an educated decision, and really what I'm hearing you say is you heard what they needed, and you provided that. Yeah,
it was almost like a need-based analysis, but then it was a huge gamble because of the fact that I know that it could have gone the other direction. If the buyer's agent wasn't like going along with it, then it could have backfired in my face.
But there's a big difference. We talk about this in investing. You go in, you do your homework.
Due diligence,
Right, and when you're making that decision of whether or not to put your money in this direction or that direction, if you've done enough homework, is it really a gamble if you've got enough information to work with? So there's always risk, but you minimized as much of the risk as possible before you went out there, just by gathering the information that you needed.
Yeah, and I looked at it, and it was literally the 12th hour, and I had to make a decision whether I was going to sell the house. I mean, have that sort of angle of just selling just the house and how beautiful it is, and this, that, and the other. Can you see yourself here, and all that stuff, the dog and pony show. But the whole thing is that I looked at it of a very, how would you say, giving all the all the information that I had from the buyer and the buyer's agent at that time, I made that decision. And literally, the seller calls me almost weekly and say, "You saved my bacon."
Nice.
Period.
Good for you.
And thank you for going with it. I was pissed at you at the beginning, but I found at the end of the day, you called them on the carpet and they performed.
All right. Well, nice.
So.
Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Okay. The whole name of the show is That's Awkward. That was a little bit awkward, but I like it.
It scared me, actually, a little bit. It really did. It scared me because of the fact that I had their life in my hands.
Fair enough, and I can understand. Yeah.
It scared me.
And after the fact, it's easy to talk about it now. In the actual moment,
Oh, yeah.
So, in closing, again, you had mentioned who you are, where to find you on Facebook. We didn't say who you work with.
Oh, I work with Coldwell Banker Newport.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
So if they're looking for you, best place to find you on Facebook?
Facebook is Chad Pape.
Okay, very good. I appreciate you talking to me today, Chad.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Always support you. I always will.
Yeah,
always support you.
We'll have another podcast coming up, and we'll get into some more nitty-gritty. So,
It's going to be a lot.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you again.
You're very welcome.
Take care, everybody.